Today on In the Dugout Extra Innings, my guest is my friend and former presidential candidate and Cranston mayor, Steve Laffey, who not only withdrew, I should say, last week from the Republican presidential primary for 2024 election, but also withdrew from the Republican Party. Wow. Let's bring him on and back to In the Dugout. Steve, welcome back to our show.
Michael, great to be with you, and always great to be with any Stenhouse, but thanks for having me on.
I'm trying to remember, you formally announced your candidacy for president. You're among the first to announce. Was what date, Steve?
February 1st. I was the first to take on Donald Trump on February 1st of this year.
And you kind of put in a New Hampshire first campaign, like a lot of candidates do, hoping if you can get on the board in New Hampshire that could catapult you then into other primary states. Was that basically the way you tried to kick off your campaign?
Yes, and while I arrived in New Hampshire on February 25th, I'd say of the 8 months or so I campaigned, I was in New Hampshire 5 months. I did spend some time in Iowa, and that was very productive.
You know, one thing I was kind of surprised at, Steve, right from the beginning, for a while, you were one of the few, if not the only announced candidate, like you said, one of the first to kind of say, hey, the Republican Party needs an alternative to Trump. But it's really hard to get media attention. And while you did get, I did see this headline, which I'll show everybody, when you announced you were stepping down. I don't know that I saw anything like that when, your campaign announcement. Am I wrong on that, or is it just hard to get for media attention? Because that's what it's all about if you're going to get votes, isn't it?
Well, at the very beginning, I went on Good Morning America. We had a lot of initial media attention because I was the first one to run against former President Trump. Then as other people got in, unfortunately, this becomes a celebrity contest, as I pointed out. And when the RNC, now, behind me, you can see my book, Primary Mistake. I am the outcast of the National Republican Party. I wrote a book about what they did to me. I'm the only elected Republican in the history of the Republican Party since Abe Lincoln to be an office holder, Republican office holder, then run for higher office and be attacked by the National Republican Party. Never happened before 2006 when I ran.
That was your Senate campaign against then incumbent Lincoln Chafee.
Yes, it's never happened again. Rule 11 has never been used except against me. So when it comes to, say, Fox News and the RNC, you can see by June 2nd when they adopted rules for the debate, that was devastating to me, obviously, because I was counting on 10 or 12 people being in the debate. I would have been one of them for sure. But I wasn't, because they had two criteria that I was just unwilling to even try. One would be to raise your right hand and swear that you're going to endorse any of the candidates or any candidate in the Republican Party. As I said, that seems to be something out of Mussolini's time, right? And two candidates, of course, have lied and made it to the debate stage. So I don't know who Asa Hutchinson prays with at church. And I don't know what Chris Christie's thinking, but he just knowingly lied and said, yeah, we'll do that, but they were never endorsing Donald Trump. And then some other candidates, like the governor of North Dakota, they decided to do what I think is illegal, and that is to say, send me $1, because you need 40,000 contributions.
Right. Individual donors.
And I'll send you $20. And they called it gifts. Yeah, that's what three candidates did. That, to me, is what Dinesh D'Souza went to jail over. And I'm sure the FEC will weigh in on this at some point.
So they were buying donors.
Yes. Mr. Suarez.
We talk about buying votes, but they were buying donors.
Yes, and at a massive loss. So being a Calvin Coolidge conservative like myself, or people who know me, there was no way I was going to call people up or use my own money to say, hey, here's my idea. I send out $800,000 and take in $40,000 and make it to the debate stage. But that was the RNC rules. Now, remember, Rona, the head of the RNC, she's a Trump person. She may be the niece of Mitt Romney, but she's a Trump person. So she's going around to close off the Michigan, situation so that Trump will win. She made it so that only people who made it to the debate stage would be complete sycophants. And I need people to understand what I mean when I say that. If you're Nikki Haley and you love Donald Trump, and you take a job from Donald Trump, but then you want to run against him because you no longer need that, you've made yourself after you became the ambassador to the United States, United Nations, you went out and made speeches for $100,000 plus. What she possibly said worth 100,000, we don't know, but that's the gig. See, that's the game. So she's a sycophant. Ron DeSantis, complete sycophant. Go watch his 2018 commercial when he reads to a baby, his baby, "Make America Great," reading a book, letting people know he's with Donald Trump. He loves Donald Trump, running against Donald Trump. Or you're Mr. Ramsawamy, who just doubles down on everything Trump says the most ridiculous things. The whole thing is a sick game. The people left. It's totally out of control, Michael. And that's because the RNC only had these two debates. There should be debates, single issue debates. There should be town hall meetings every night.
Democrats, wait a minute, hold on. On the Democrat side, they don't even have a debate with RFK and what Marianne Williamson and all that. So, yeah, it's not just the Republicans, it's both parties on that. But go ahead.
And one guy looks at me and says, "Why aren't, the newscaster, why aren't you attacking Joe Biden?" And I say, because I'm in a Republican primary against Donald Trump. And the guy's face is like, "Yeah, that's normal." Like, okay, I haven't heard that before. That's because the other complete numbnuts running for president are running with Donald Trump. They're actually not running for president, right? If they were running for president, they would be against Donald Trump. Even Doug Burgum, the governor of North Dakota, is like, Donald Trump was a great president. Like, then what are you doing here?